Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to Common English Mistakes. Don't just learn, improve. So today's video is going to build on an early one I did, talking about mistakes students make with the future forms, specifically overusing and using future will too much. So we'll look at what these are and what you should use instead, when you can use future will, and also when you must use future will, and then related to those, another common mistake. So anyway, the first mistake is up here. I will have pizza for dinner tonight. So I pause the video, try and correct the sentence. And well done if you said, I'm going to have pizza for dinner tonight. So just think in this sentence, is this a plan that you write in your diary or an intention, an action you intend to do in the future? And well done if you said we're going to use future going to. Am is are, going to plus infinitive to talk about intentions or actions in the future. I'm going to have pizza for dinner. I'm going to clean my house this weekend. I'm going to watch a series after dinner. And just remember, in an informal situation, you can use gonna instead of going to. And it's quite natural to do so. Gonna have pizza for dinner, gonna clean my house, gonna watch a series. We also use going to for our maybe or unfixed plans. So instead of saying these, which are either wrong or unnatural and sound a bit strange, you want to say, I'm going to study at university, but I haven't decided where. We are going to buy a house, but we haven't found one yet. And I'm going to visit my friend in Germany at some point next year. All of these are intentions, plans for the future, but they're not yet fixed. So that's for our maybe or unfixed plans. For our fixed plans, again, you don't want to use future will. Here, it's best to use present continuous. Am is are plus verb ing. I always say to my students, think about things you could write in a diary. I'm having dinner with a friend tonight. Or my friend is having a party on Saturday. Usually these tend to be nearer future, happening soon, but they can be in the far future. If they're fixed, use present continuous. My favorite band are playing a concert in my city next year. It's fixed, there's a time, there's a place, use present continuous. However, for our fixed future plans, you can also use going to. And this is going to be a repeated theme. What I always tell my students is, if you're not sure which tense to use, just use going to, because it's usually correct. So, I'm going to have dinner with a friend tonight. My friend is going to have a party on Saturday. My favorite band are going to play a concert in my city. So that's plans and intentions. The next most common area where students make mistakes using future will is with predictions. Generally, there are two types of predictions, which are up here. Arsenal will win the league this year, and look at those black clouds, it will rain soon. So just pause the video and think which one maybe sounds a bit funny, a bit unnatural, and also which one is a prediction of belief and which one is based on current evidence. And well done if you said Arsenal will win the league this year. This is a prediction of belief. If you're talking about what you believe, think, I think next week will be difficult, or no, people will struggle next year because of the poor economy. A grammar book will generally tell you to use will. However, in the real world, people do, and I would say more often do, use future going to for these types of predictions. So Arsenal are going to win the league this year. Next week is going to be difficult, and people are going to struggle next year are not only okay, but I would say more natural. It's up to you, but personally, I would just use going to talk about predictions. It's always correct, and in many cases, it's going to be natural. So with the other type of prediction, this is where it's incorrect and sounds very strange to use will. If you're talking about current evidence, usually what you see, you need to use going to. Look at those black clouds, it's going to rain soon. Not only what you see, what you can hear. You're at a concert, wow, listen to the crowd. It's going to be an amazing concert. Or what you feel. It's 8 a.m., it's already 30 degrees, it's going to be a hot day. I'd also say generally, when you're talking about weather, it sounds much more natural to use going to. It's going to be sunny this weekend. Sounds much better than it will be sunny this weekend. So that's predictions. The final situation where it might sound a bit strange to use future will is this. My flight will leave at 11, so I'm going to head to the airport at 8. This sounds very, very formal. It would be okay if someone official said your flight will depart at 11, so please don't hesitate to ask us any questions. But when it's a normal situation, you don't want to use future will. You could use going to. My flight is going to leave at 11 because going to is always correct. Not great though. My flight is leaving at 11 because it's fixed. But best if you're talking about times in the future, especially official or regular timetables, to use present simple. My flight leaves at 11. Most of the time, you're going to use this to talk about transport. Like the example, or maybe in a train station, you ask, what time does the train to Manchester arrive? You could say, our bus leaves in 10 minutes, so we have to hurry. Also, personal itineraries. We arrive quite late in Paris. I go back home next Monday. However, there are also fixed plans, so we can use present continuous or going to. For events like football matches, concerts, and TV programs, the match starts at 8, the concert begins at 9, the program is on at 7 o'clock, and also things related to school and education. Class begins earlier next week at 10 a.m. My exams begin in June. So anyway, we've looked at when you shouldn't use future will. Let's look at when you can. Firstly, and the most important one to remember, is to use it with time conjunctions, like when. I'll call you when I arrive. It's the same for as soon as or the moment, which have the same meaning as when, but just to mean immediately or to emphasize a very short time between the actions. I'll tell you as soon as I know, I'll send that report the moment I get to work. Also with once, which means the second action is conditional on the first action happening. For example, I will buy a car once I have enough money. And then also with before and after. I'll go on holiday after I pass my exams. I'll study Portuguese before I go to Brazil. So with all of these, you can use future will. However, with some of them, you must use future will. Just pause the video and think which group are promises, where you must use future will, and which aren't, where you can use going to instead. And well done. If you said the first three are all promises, you must say, I'll call you when I arrive. You can't say, I'm going to call you when I arrive. Whereas the others, these are just intentions, so we can use going to. I'm going to buy a car once I have enough money, etc. So we use our future forms with these time conjunctions, but be careful because we don't use a future form after the conjunction. You don't say, I'll call you when I will arrive. After the conjunction, you just use present simple. I'll call you when I arrive, etc. Be careful for this one because it is a very common mistake. So anyway, we must use future will with promises, but also with requests. Will you drive me to the airport? For other people, will you help her with her homework? Will you do the washing up? And similarly with offers. I'll help her with her homework. I'll drive you to the airport if you like. I'll do the washing up. Promises, requests, offers all need to use future will. So the final situation where you must use future will is making spontaneous decisions at the time of speaking, usually in response to what someone else says. For example, the train is cancelled. I guess we'll have to take the bus instead. We should go. Okay, no problem. I'll call a taxi. So that ties nicely together for the final situation where you can use future will. And that's simply when you use the phrases I think, maybe, or probably. So if when someone asks you, what are you doing this weekend? You can say, I think I'll go to the beach. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch a movie, and I'll probably stay at home. Two of those, you could also use future going to because it's an intention. However, one is more a spontaneous decision and you must use will. See if you can think which one that is. And well done. If you said, I don't know, that's the situation where you haven't thought about it. It's a spontaneous decision at the time of speaking. You must say, maybe I'll watch a movie. Maybe I'm going to watch a movie sounds kind of horrible. Generally, you can say, I think I'm going to, I think I will probably, I'm probably going to, interchangeably, but with maybe, I would always use future will. And finally, just be careful of the word order with will probably, because it changes if it's a positive or negative sentence. You say, will probably, I'll probably stay at home, but then probably won't. I probably won't go out. With going to, it's a bit more simple. You just say is are, probably, not if it's a negative, going to plus infinitive. I'm probably going to stay at home. I'm probably not going to go out. So anyway, that's pretty much everything relating to our basic future forms. I know it's a lot, but if you remember all that summarized here, you're going to avoid most of the mistakes people make with future forms. But anyway, I promise I will keep making these videos, and I will even make videos on things you ask about, if you like. But will you please like and subscribe and maybe share the videos with your friends? If you do, I'm sure you're going to learn a lot. Anyway, when you're ready, let's practice and improve. Just pause the video and put a correct future form using the verb in brackets into these sentences. Obviously, more than one option may be possible with each one, but try to use the best, most natural one. So for the first one, I think I'll have, or I think I'm going to have a party on my birthday this year. Both of those are fine. I'm working tomorrow morning. Fixed future plan. Could also say going to, but present continuous is best. And then Euro 2024 starts in June. It's an official timetable, so best to use present simple. And in that tournament, England will win. England are gonna win Euro 2024. No evidence, just what I believe. Then maybe I'll try a new recipe this weekend. Again, anytime you use maybe, I would use future will. And finally, it's going to rain this weekend. Again, there may be current evidence, but when you're talking about weather, I'd always use going to for the prediction. So now just pause the video and write, say, or discuss the same sentences for you. And finally, today's question, going back to the start of the lesson, what are you going to have for dinner tonight? So do write your answers in the comments, guys. Good opportunity to just practice the language. Anyway, if you haven't watched it already, do make sure to check out the other video I did on fixed future plans. A little bit more detail there. But other than that, I'll see you for another video in the next couple of days. Until next time, see ya.